10-2. Youngest players with 3 hits, 3 ribs in a postseason game. Andrew Jones, of course, famously in the late 1990s against the Yankees, wasn't even 20 years old at that point, but Jackson Merrill, 21 and a half. And to do it on this stage in Dodger Stadium, ever so impressive. And San Diego, Nicole, evens this series at a game apiece.
So Buster only joins us now. I feel like when you look at this game as a whole, you can pick out key moments and key plays and key at-bats. But I feel like Jurickson Profar absolutely set the tone. Second at-bat for the Dodgers when he went out there and robbed that home run from Mookie Betts.
That's right, and certainly set off the chippiness that happened during the course of the night. And we know this, I mean, the Padres love to play the Dodgers. You can feel this with Manny Machado when they go into that ballpark. They're not afraid of the Dodgers. Won 8 out of 13 against them this year. But Profar goes up, makes this amazing catch, and look, he was, for a while, everyone was trying to figure out what happened on this play. Mookie Betts was actually about 3/4 of the way around the bases, thinking that it was a home run, and before we realized exactly what was going on there. So it was, very interesting how things got set in motion with Profar's catch.
Tatis sets the tone at the plate with the home run in the second at-bat of the game for San Diego. But Buster, once again, the hitting star, Tatis was great tonight. The whole lineup was great tonight. But Jackson Merrill once again.
Yeah, he's someone who was installed in the opening day lineup. He was a shortstop. They played him in center field, and they talk about, how much confidence.
Let's just be honest about what's happening
right.
here. We got some mic issues with Buster.
There's so much confidence in Jackson Merrill when he's at the plate. And you hear stories about how invested he is in the idea of winning with other young players. The confidence level just is off the charts. Look, he's someone who right away has had a big impact in the big leagues. I think that he's going to wind up being the National League Rookie.
What about, sorry, I'm sort of paying attention to the mic situation. It's like a weird situation here with them. I'm like holding the microphone in my hand and doing it back and forth. Hi. Yu Darvish also pitched one hell of a game. To be able to have that pitching effort and then go out there and attack the Dodgers pitching staff the way that they did. What do you say about Yu Darvish's performance?
Yeah, he's evolved so much as a pitcher, right? It used to be he was the guy who felt like the question was whether he had too many weapons. And he wouldn't focus in particular. But I think he's developed this great relationship with Ruben Niebla, the pitching coach of the Padres. He's had a terrific season for them. And tonight, hyper efficient, taking care of the Padres hitters, changing speed, or the Dodgers hitters, changing speeds. He only needed, 82 pitches through his first 7 innings. I mean, he was rolling. And when you look at these two teams, you have the Dodgers with their rotation and chaos. And the Padres, on the other hand, having Yu Darvish and Michael King, who we expect is going to start in Game 3, Dylan Cease. It's a big advantage for the Padres in this series.
And King was unbelievable in the wild card round.
Yeah.
You mentioned the word chaos, and we've got to address what happened in the game, middle innings. I think it was the 7th inning when there was a baseball thrown onto the field, and then, of course, trash thrown onto the field in right field. It's happened before in Major League Baseball, but how does baseball go about legislating this, Buster, moving forward?
Well, I'm sure that they're going to have more focus on the security out in the outfield and to make sure that they have enough security guards, that the players are safe. Mike Schilt, the Padres manager, went out there, you see right there, and he's yelling at the fans. At one point, he was speaking directly to the whole group. And Major League Baseball, their head of security was out there having conversations with the umpires about how they're going to handle this. And I think this is why Manny Machado got all the Padres together in the dugout. Like, hey, let's keep our composure. We're here to take care of business. And they put a whooping on the Dodgers. 6 home runs, despite all this stuff that was going on.
The whole idea of let's keep our composure is something I think that we all talked about when we were watching the game. There is a lot of tension between those two teams. Ooh. There's a lot of history between those two teams and the players. And then you've got sort of what happened tonight. Like, it's not outside the realm of possibility to think that there is a benches clearing moment in this series as we progress.
Well, which is why, because the past tension is why that when Fernando Tatis Jr. was hit by a pitch, I think people on the Padres side wondered, was that on purpose? Mm-hmm. Then the jawing starts. You have Flaherty and Machado. You wonder if there's going to be carryover from that. Manny is not going to back down. And he will continue to do what he feels like he needs to do to lead the Padres as they go forward. As I mentioned before, they are not afraid of the Dodgers. And now they have the next 2 games in their home ballpark, with that massive Petco Park crowd. It's an advantage right now for San Diego to be going into that place.
I don't know if this is actually something that we can pull up if we have the video at this exact moment, but you were in here watching the game with us when Xander Bogaerts hit his home run, and you were watching him trot around the bases. You're like, I think he hurt his leg, maybe his hamstring or something in that moment. Why is that potentially? Watch here. And as he goes around the bases, you can see him maybe not running in the most agile of ways. Why is this a potential problem moving forward for the Padres?
Yeah, on the previous pitch, he took a swing, and you could see him grab the back of his hamstring. And now, when he did hit the home run and he circled the bases, he was very stiff-legged. Remember, he's at shortstop now because Hassan Kim has been hurt. So maybe Tyler Wade moving forward could be their shortstop. And on the Dodgers side, an open question how much Freddie Freeman will be able to play for them given his ankle sprain of last week. And, he had to come out of the game in the fourth inning.
That's a huge story. Pitching for the Dodgers is a huge story, right? I mean, Flaherty, 3 runs over 6 innings. But Yamamoto was roughed up last night. There's no Clayton Kershaw. There's no Tyler Glasnow. I guess we'll see Buehler in Game 3. I'm not sure if they've announced that yet. What's the state of the Dodgers starting pitching right now?
It's a mess. And we knew that going in, that they would essentially have to have everything go right. Among the few starting pitchers they have, they would all need to pitch well. You mentioned Yamamoto got beat up in the first start, right? And they needed length out of Flaherty. They didn't necessarily get that. Their bullpen has been as much of an issue lately, I think, as the rotation. It is a distinct disadvantage, I think, between the Padres, or for the Dodgers, as they play the Padres right now. The Padres pitching staff is rolling.
They are rolling, and obviously they have the ability to score all of the runs, but the Dodgers also have the ability. They have the bats as well. We're going to take a quick time out here for a second because new on SportsCenter, you mentioned the game that Jack Flaherty pitched. It was great. Here he is now.
I put good swings on the 2 pitches. I missed there in the first with Tatis. Put a good swing on the ball. That's what he does. And then Prahl took a good swing on, put a good swing on the other one after that. And then from there was kind of able to settle down, got into a little bit of a rhythm. And then, some traffic was caused there in the 6th. But, we just got to keep making pitches and keep the team in it.
You're a pitcher who typically has a bit more swing and miss in your game. Just when you think about their at-bats, what they were doing, how challenging is it when you are facing a team where they don't have as much swing and miss in their game?
Yeah, you just got to keep attacking and kind of do what we did there in those middle innings, which is just force them to try to force some weak contact. You just keep pounding the zone, keep pounding strikes, and good things are going to happen. And that's what we try to do from the beginning. Miss with the pitch there to Tatis. You put a good swing on it, and you just keep filling it up.
Joe, can you go more in depth on confrontation with Machado tonight?
I mean, there's a lot to say. Well, first is that fans, you should never get involved. There's no reason. There's no reason ever to throw anything at players, no matter what's going on. There's no reason to get involved with it. Stay out of it. And whatever went on over there, they have every reason to be upset about it. We should never feel like we're going to get anything thrown at us on either side. So fans should never be involved. They didn't like the pitch to Tatis. I missed in the first inning, and I threw the ball over the middle. I wasn't going to miss over the plate again, but I've got no reason to hit a guy there to start off the 6th, as good as he's been swinging the bat. But we're down in the game. I'm trying to go in for effect, and he didn't get out of the way. It hit him. Didn't try to go and hit him to try to lead off an inning or anything like that. That doesn't really make sense. Didn't go up near his head, nothing, just trying to push a guy off the plate. He didn't get out of the way. And sometimes that happens. They're upset about it. That's part of it. I was fired up after getting Manny out. It was a big spot in the playoffs. That's what happens. I was fired up. Oh well. And then, he did some shit in between innings where he tries to throw the ball at our dugout, and everybody kind of catches the tail end of it, which is me and him going at it. But I was sitting there for my team. I wasn't sitting there to go at him, but he was throwing the ball at our dugout, and the umpires went over immediately to tell him. I don't know what their conversation was, but our dugout was fired up because there ain't no reason for that. Everybody caught the tail end of it. Everybody caught just me and him going at it. Manny's a great player. I understand everybody it's postseason, everybody's fired up, you get upset, frustrated. about pitch hitting Tatis. Like I said, you know, you gotta be able to pitch him in. And I missed in the first inning, and I wasn't gonna miss over the plate again. I was trying to go in for effect. So there was a lot that happened there, but you know the fans stay out of it, and you know, overall we just gotta play better. But you know, it's you know, sometimes emotions run high in this game, and you just go out and, you know, we got to regroup and go get the next one.
Jack, about this game.
Emotions run high, particularly this time of year. New on SportsCenter, the losing manager, Dave Roberts.
Dave, first, what's the status on Freddie coming out of the game?
You know what? I don't know. I got word in the middle of the game that his ankle was really bothering him, and he was really, he was down, really down, and just couldn't keep going. So we had no other choice, and he's doing everything he can. I don't know what his status will be like for Game 3, but for tonight, we had no other option.
And then what do you just make of that game and all the emotions between the teams, and then obviously with the crowd? Like, how much can that shift the dynamic of this series?
Well, I thought, you know, we knew going into this series there was going to be a lot of emotions, and, you know, they just played a better baseball game than we did tonight.
Skipper, we all know of the friction between these two clubs. How surprised are you that it went to that extent this evening?
As far as the whole thing that transpired on the field, well, shoot, I've seen over 1,000 games here, well over 1,000 games in this ballpark, and I've never seen anything like that. And so obviously there's a lot of emotions and things like that, but that's something that should never happen. And I guess I was pretty naive too as far as the specifics, but I know that security handled the person that was involved as far as, you know, throwing the baseball in the field, and you just never want to see that. And like I said, I've seen so many games at Dodger Stadium, and our fans are as good as any that I've ever seen.
Dave, with Freddie, like, how concerning is it that, you know, obviously for the next month to try and keep him healthy without this thing kind of flaring up every now and then? It's
sort of where we're at. It's not ideal. It is of concern. It's day to day, and there's nothing else we can do about it. So I think that we have a workout tomorrow evening, and then we'll just kind of see where he's at with treatment. And then once we get to Tuesday, we'll see how he feels, and then we'll do the same thing for Game 4. So again, it's not ideal, but I think this is what we're going to have to be dealing with for the duration.
And obviously, you guys kind of bounced back yesterday after getting in that early hole. But how tough is it to keep kind of getting down 3-4 runs early on?
It's it certainly puts a little bit on the offense, and getting behind tonight. I thought that the Mookie ball that was robbed, the Tommy Edman first and second base with one out. Double play right there, but that's baseball. I mean, I thought those were two good at bats, and I thought Freddie took a good at bat. We were down 3-1 to lead off the third of the fourth inning, and Tatis makes a great play, which could have been a double, which could have potentially cut into the lead. So, but again, those guys made defensive plays, and then they tacked on when they needed to. So now it's a 3-game series. Like I said, they played better, but we got to catch a lead too.
You guys, I think there's a lot of situational memory loss going on. Think of convenience, if you will.
One thing I want to address: Jack Flaherty, the hit batsman of Manny Machado.
Yeah.
I mean, Buster, there's
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Tatis Jr. There's Jack Flaherty said, look, we're losing 3-1. It's a playoff game. They're not throwing at Fernando Tatis Jr. at that point.
No, but emotions between the two teams, you can understand during a playoff game how things like that would flare up. And Fernando Tatis Jr. said, Eduardo Perez, our colleague, has told me, when you get hit by a pitch like that, it hurts. Right. And so you're mad. And they were mad initially when that happens, and it started this back and forth between the two teams.
In terms of what we heard from Profar, he had the conversation, if you will, when he robbed the home run, and then something escalated, over the last couple of days, and they're throwing the things on the field. How do you think he handled how it all went down on the field?
About as well as you can, right? In terms of he got away from the stands. He didn't go into the stands. He didn't engage. He waited for security to come out. He let the umpires do their job. He let security do their job. And he just said he hopes that when they're in San Diego, that the Padres fans aren't doing the same thing.
I personally hope that the same thing. Let's be better than that.
There's no question. Look, Nicole mentioned it earlier, the catch by Profar, which was an unbelievable catch. I think he may have surprised himself here.
Oh, he did.
But
surprised everybody.
Yeah.
There was a theme throughout this game, and it was great defense by San Diego.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you know, Profar is not known as necessarily a great defender, so he's going back to the stands and he makes that catch, and you can just see sort of this impish look on his face as he gathers the ball. Mookie Betts, meanwhile, doesn't know what's happening right now. As he made this catch, Mookie Betts is rounding second base. He's thinking he's got a home run, and then Profar backs away from the stands, and then that's when he shows the ball, and that's when Mookie realizes it was an out.
I think there were a lot of people who thought that was a home run, including the broadcast. I do want to get your thoughts on what we heard from Dave Roberts a few minutes ago now, from being around him a lot and hearing those sorts of interviews a lot. The one thing he said about Freddie Freeman, who sprained his ankle September the 26th, he did play in game one, but he left early in this game. And the quote from Dave Roberts was, he's really feeling down about it.
Yep.
What do you, from your experience, read into that?
That they don't know if he's going to play when they get to San Diego. The series moved to San Diego on Tuesday. Knowing Freddie Freeman, he's going to do everything he can. He'll get treatment tonight. He'll get treatment tomorrow during the workouts. They'll take a look at it on Tuesday, but let's face it. Freddie has said this is the worst injury that he's had in his career. Normally, he would be out 4 to 6 weeks. He's trying to play on this thing, and he had such discomfort that this guy, who's typically a 162-game-a-year guy, asked out of the lineup because his ankle's hurting that much. That tells you everything.
They've had injuries at first base this year, right? But the problem is Kevin Biggio's not on the team to play. So who plays first base if Freeman cannot go?
Max Muncy, they move over to first base. You know, maybe Kike Hernandez, Chris Taylor, they put them at third base. But the bottom line is, at a time when the Dodgers pitching is in such disarray, in part because of all the injuries they've had, if they're going to advance into October, they're going to have to hit past that weakness. And now, future Hall of Famer may not necessarily be available to them, and Freddie Freeman, big important piece in that lineup.
They're going to have to hit Michael King in Game 3 as well, which is no easy task.
Not an easy task,
Not
exactly.
at all.
Buster, thank you. It was fun sharing
Thanks,
the mic.
guys. Always fun to see you.
Hey, Dodgers Nation! Welcome to latest Los Angeles Dodgers news, your number one source for all things Los Angeles Dodgers. If you're a diehard baseball fan and love our Dodger Blue, you are in the right place. So don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to stay updated with all the latest Dodgers news. Let's get started. Today's topic is one that's sure to stir up the emotions of Dodgers fans. We're in the middle of the playoffs, but rumors are already swirling about some big changes for the future of the team. And what's being discussed behind the scenes could involve one of our key players. If this trade happens, it could shake up not just our fan base, but the entire MLB. Let's dive into it. Everyone knows that the Dodgers have a star-studded lineup, and with that comes the expectation that the team is always looking to improve and stay ahead of the competition. And it looks like this winter could see some major moves. We're talking about a potential trade involving none other than Max Muncy, our talented third baseman, and the Seattle Mariners. That's right, according to a proposal from Adam Jude of the Seattle Times, there's a possibility Muncy could be traded to the Mariners in exchange for a major boost to our pitching staff, Luis Castillo. But hold on, why would the Dodgers consider such a trade? After all, Muncy has been a key part of the team, especially with his 35 or more home runs in 4 of his last 7 seasons. While his batting average may not always be the most consistent, he makes up for it with his high on-base percentage and power at the plate. So, what's the reasoning? The answer lies in the Dodgers' pitching rotation, which has been heavily impacted by injuries this year. Luis Castillo, on the other hand, is a true workhorse, durable and reliable, making him a highly sought-after pitcher by many teams. Now, does it make sense to give up a player like Muncy to strengthen our rotation? And if not Castillo, maybe there are other options, like Nolan Arenado from the St. Louis Cardinals, who could fill the gap at third base. There are a lot of possibilities, and that's what makes this discussion so interesting. We know the Dodgers have the financial muscle to make big deals, so anything is possible. So, what do you think, Dodgers fans? Would you trade Max Muncy for Luis Castillo, or would you rather keep our star at third base? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, because this trade could drastically change the future of our team. And of course, don't forget to share this video with your friends, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all the latest Dodgers news. The season may be winding down, but the offseason moves are just getting started. Let's keep an eye on every detail of this potential blockbuster trade. Until next time, Dodgers Nation.